because I used to be a YouTuber back in like high school. I was getting a bunch of views a week. When I got into high school, it started leaking that I'm making these YouTube videos. And at that time, YouTube was cringy. If you were a YouTuber back then, people thought you were weird. But then these high school kids started like saying, like, what is this kid doing? And they started making fun of me. And that got in my head.
Regret weighs heavy when you get older. I don't want to look back and say, damn, I could have done that. So you solely do nothing but social media, right? How do you monetize each platform?
I would say...
This is the True Hustle Podcast with your host, JR.
This is the True Hustle Podcast with your host, JR.
We're living with my cousins. They still live there. So I'll probably visit them after that.
Well, let's start with that.
Yeah.
So how was it growing up there?
It was great. Like I really that was when my that was my silver tooth era.
Inga su madre.
Yeah, that's when I was just like we're ding dong ditching because like everything was like the neighborhoods were just there. So we're like ding dong ditching. We're like throwing toilet paper. We're like doing all that crazy shit.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was a fun time.
So did you grow up? Okay, are you first generation Mexican?
Yes. It's like my mom moved out here when she was in high school.
Okay.
So there's still like a little, but yeah, first generation with some space.
Well, all right. I never heard that before. That's good. So then you were raised, okay, was Spanish your first language?
Yeah. You know, it's crazy. All I did,
That's
not.
Right.
I spoke Spanish. Like I didn't know English until like maybe like second to third grade. And then my mom moved me to a private school. And I got whitewashed hard. Like they took out. Bro, for my name used to be Saul. When I did third grade, it turned to Saul.
Oh shit!
Yeah, that shit was.
So little by little, they started just.
Yeah, I was.
Americanizing
I got
you.
Americanized. Yeah, and then that's why now I'm more into like we need that Mexican representation and culture because I didn't have that growing up. Like I was all these white kids were making fun of me. I like in a school full of like. It was like a small private school. I think there was like 4 Mexicans. And then I was like one of the 4. And I was just, bro, my fourth grade teacher made fun of my accent. She like laughed at me in front of the whole class.
Do you know her name?
Miss Rhoda. Miss Rhoda.
All right, I'm going to take this moment. Fuck you, Miss Rhoda.
Yeah. I remember she was... We were talking about the Mojave Desert, and I was like, yeah, the Mojave Desert. And she went, like, busted out laughing. She's like, oh, my God, I'm so sorry. I know it's because of your accent or whatever. And I was like, wait, what? I didn't even... It was a whole thing, but...
Maybe she was probably, oh, sorry, little beaner boy. It's hilarious. I know it's not. The fuck?
It's not.
So then you went from Pico Rivera, all Mexican, all Latino.
To Ontario.
And then you go to Ontario to a private school, and now you're like the 4th Mexican in the whole entire school.
Yeah.
How difficult was that? Like getting acclimated to something like that?
It was an identity crisis. Like how I said, like my name was Saul and like we were raised Catholic. And then I started questioning all the Catholic beliefs because it was a Christian school. So I started questioning everything. They told me like, oh yeah, if you're not Christian, you're going to hell. So I was like, they were literally like, I was being brainwashed the whole time. And it was just an identity crisis. I was like, yo, what's everything I grew up on? Everybody's lunches were like completely different. I was pulling up with tortas. It was a whole different thing, bro. And I was like, I started feeling like embarrassed of being Mexican. And then so it was a whole, even in middle school. And but shout out to my mom because she wanted me like in the best places and she wanted me to go to these really nice schools. But with that was just a bunch of white kids who were just like racist. I was like I experienced racism till 6th grade, and then we lost our house, and we ended up moving to Fontana with my cousins, and that was in 7th grade, and that was the first time I was in public school back with all Mexicans, and bro, I loved it. I was like, this is amazing. Like, I just felt so accepted. Everybody was just like me, and then I came back, and then we ended up moving back to Chino, and then I went to a school in Chino Hills in 8th grade. I experienced a lot of racism there. And I remember that's where I got called the beaner the most in 8th grade.
But Chino Hills is a little bit more diverse. So you weren't getting it just from the white people.
Oh, I was getting it from everybody.
From everywhere.
Yeah, everyone. Yeah, it was I remember there's this one dude. Yeah, like every race, I was getting picked on because I was also like, I was smaller. Like I still look like a silver tooth kid. Like I was straight like Mexican, right? And it was tough. So it was an identity crisis. And then until I went to my first semester in college at Mount Sac, I took a Chicano history class. Changed my life, bro. My favorite class. It's funny. It was my favorite class, and I failed it.
It was your favorite, but you weren't doing the homework, bro.
It's because it was just so inspiring. Like he would say something and like I was just taking notes about things I wanted to do. I was like, oh, I want to make a movie out of this because they're talking about like the Aztec and Mayan culture. I was like, yo, this is the Avengers. Nobody's making movies about this shit. And I was just like, I started writing. I started coming up with ideas. He was telling me some like the gasoline baths and all that stuff. I took notes on all that stuff. And then later on, I implemented into the podcast. So it all kind of worked into the podcast. And back then, I didn't even know I was going to do a podcast. I was going to be a writer for movies. And it was just so inspiring. And everything just kind of molded together.
So then you went to Mount Sac. So you went to college.
Yeah.
Did you finish?
Nah, I dropped out. I made sure to drop out with all A's. So my mom can't say anything.
But what made you do that?
I just knew I knew there was something more because I've always wanted to be in entertainment. Since I was 12. And I knew that was something I was only doing. And I was doing college because my mom wanted me to do college. And then also the financial aid was dope. So that was you got to cheat the system sometimes.
Shit.
So I was I was always doing skits with my friends and stuff, and then it wasn't really picking up like that. And then one day it was like the podcast came along. I started working I dropped out of school. And then my mom was like, you got to get a job. So I became a mailman. I hated it. It was
so you would walk every block.
Yeah, walking every block and putting the mail. It was wild. Like it's that job is like it's so easy that it's hard because it just becomes a mental battle. And especially being like you start off as a CCA, those guys, they don't leave until the mail's done. So there's a mailman who will be there his 8 hours. And if he's not done with those 8 hours, the CCAs come and finish everybody's job. So they're there for like 12, 13 hours for 6 days a week. And that kind of killed my like dreams and ambition and all that stuff. So I was like, I got to get out of here.
What'd you say to yourself?
Yeah.
Fuck this.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this.
You know what's crazy, bro? They always told me, they're like, every mailman's going to cry. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to cry. Like, why am I going to cry over some mail? And I cried. They got me. I remember there was night I decided to quit because I was like, I can't believe I'm really crying over some mail right now. It was like I think it was like 9 p.m. It was cold. It was raining. I was starving because you barely eat. You don't have time to eat. I'm like I'm traumatized. I don't eat like ham sandwiches anymore because that traumatized me. I was starving. I was hungry. I was depressed. I looked back at my mail truck. It's still covered with mail that has to be delivered. This was during COVID. Everything was backed up, and I'm just like I was so frustrated. I never felt that way. And I was like, I called him like, yo, I'm bringing everything back. I don't care. And I did that.
How long did you work there for?
Like 2 months.
Damn, you cried in 2 months. That's how long it took. You were like, "Fuck this shit."
Bro, it's so hard. Like, there's so much. It's so much work. I'm just like, I was tired of it. And then plus, because I knew I didn't want my life. That's not what I wanted my life to be. I was like, yes, it's like from the outside looking in. All my tios, all my tias, my mom, everyone was proud of me. They're like, Saul made it. He's working at a government job. He's got all these benefits. He's getting paid good. And yes, like I was all of that, yes. And in hindsight, I'm dumb for leaving. I was like, yo, you have everything right there. But that's not what I wanted. And I knew what I wanted. Like I was set on what I wanted. And I knew I had a bigger purpose than just to go deliver mail. And I trusted myself and it worked.
But it's funny that you bring that up. Mm-hmm. Those things that you just mentioned. Oh, you work for a government agency. You have tienes beneficios, Saul. Yeah. And it's like they put you in this fucking box. Like this is where it's at. This is how you're gonna be successful. And if you fucking leave, shame on you. Yeah. You're gonna fucking fail.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be that way.
Exactly. I disappointed my mom 3 times, I believe. I remember the 3 times. And but now everybody's super proud. Like I mean, And I don't hold any resentment against any of my family members who like talk down on me because they're looking for the best. But I knew what I was gonna do, and that's something you can't tell people. Like it's something they just don't understand because it's not you. Everybody knows they have that potential bubbling in them, and they know it's coming. So now they believe it now.
But I'm glad that you made the move. It took you 2 months. It takes people 20 years, bro.
It took
like, you know, once you look at it from that perspective.
Yeah.
Like how many people still work there to this day and hate that shit.
Exactly. And that's what I didn't want to. I didn't, because there was one point where I did give up. I remember I was it was like a Sunday morning. I was a mailman. And I'm like, you know what? I can get used to this. I'll just start like saving up money. I'll get into like real estate. I'll be fine. And then that was just me just giving up. Like my dream from, bro, I was 11 years old. I went on Google and I put, I'm 11 years old and I want to be famous. I like, it's always been my thing. It's always been my thing. And when that day hit and I'm like, nah, I think I'm cool with this. I was like, nah, this is not, your 11-year-old self would be so mad at you right now. So I'm doing it for the inner child in me, you know?
Well, that's what, I mean, you're still young, but I mean, that's what it takes.
Yeah.
You know, people are always going to have an opinion, whether it's good, whether it's bad. But at the end of the day, you have to do what's best for you.
Exactly.
Nobody gets to live your life but you, sir. Nobody knows what you feel, what you go through, the type of shit that, you know, be going on in your mind.
Yeah.
And it's like, to be honest with you, those opinions, you should give two shits about people's opinions. Mm-hmm. But I just think it's easier said than done.
100%. And
you know,
I just live off I hate regret with a passion. And have you read 7 Habits of Highly Effective People? Yeah. There's that one part where it's like the people you could have became. That part got me. I was like, imagine being in your deathbed surrounded by the people you could have been. And I'm like, and they're just angry at you. And I'm like, why not? Like, why at the end of the day, when you're in your deathbed, is that person's opinion when you're 12, is that going to matter? No. Like, where are they at even? Like, so it doesn't. So ever since then, I'm like, everything I want to do, I'm going to go do it. And I trust the universe. I trust myself. I trust in God that it's going to work out. And that's all that matters. Because I've been criticized for so long. And where are those people? The people that criticized me when I was in high school, where are they? They're asking to be on the pod. Hey.
Damn, got him. Got him. I always say this. Regret weighs heavy when you get older.
Yeah.
Heavy. I don't want to look back and say, damn, I could have done that. Like, I could have made it. Because I'm that type of dude. I was like, man, if I put my mind to something, I'm going to do it.
Exactly.
And it's like, you don't want to be old. You're Kane.
Trying to rap or something, you know?
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, trying to pursue what you could have pursued when you were young.
Yeah.
Like, you have to follow your dreams. You have to follow your intuition. However, you have to have some type of plan already in place. Mm-hmm. So it's not like I'm saying, hey, quit everything and then you're going to fucking starve for the next year and a half. Like, no. It's like, be calculated on everything you do. Yeah. You know, and sometimes you got to fucking take a risk and bet it all on you. I bet it all on myself. I always say if this shit fucking sinks, it's because of me. Yeah. Not because of anybody else.
Exactly. No one else to blame.
So just nobody else to blame. Yeah. Just you got to bet it all on yourself.
And that's the best thing. That's what I remember going back to the plan. When I decided to quit my job, I made sure everything was paid off. I was like, all my bills got to be paid off. See? I had a car. So when I was as a mailman, I was making really good money. I bought like one of my dream cars. Like I bought a really nice BMW, and I was out in the streets. Like I was going on dates. I was loving it. Everybody was like showing like, because it was a one with interior lighting. So all these girls like, oh my God, right?
Wine and dine.
Yeah, so it was
player ass fool.
Right, it was a great time. But then I realized what's holding me back from quitting my job is that car. I gotta get rid of that car, and I got rid of that car, and it was the biggest ego hit because from being the guy with the coolest car and going on these dates, now I have zero car. I don't have a car. I need to ask oh my God, that was the most humbling experience was asking people for rides. I was like, and like, cause I still had gigs to do. I still had and there's still a girl I liked that I want to take her on a date. And now I'm taking her on my mom's car. And it was such a humbling experience where I was just like, I'm gonna work hard and I'm gonna get my car back. And I didn't get my car back. I got a different car, but it was.
But did it have lights inside?
Yeah.
Ooh, fresh.
And
dipping in the IE, looking in style.
Yeah, I had to. I quit my job. I made sure I had 3 months of rent ready because I was paying rent to my mom, and I got rid of all my bills, and I just locked in. And I worked. I was posting like 2 clips a day every day. We're just doing a bunch of pods. We're like locking in guests. We're like studying. We're like looking into the future, see what days are coming up, how we can incorporate that stuff into the episode. Trying to be like on trend, like always on the algorithm. And then started Patreon, a blessing. And then I'm like, okay, we're almost there. And then I made the IEM Bestie show, and that one just secured like everything. So I was like, I don't really got to worry about anything anymore. And now I have a full-time job working in social media where I can just branch off and do everything I want. So
take me back a little bit to the mindset of I quit my job. Now it's day one as being self-employed.
Yeah.
Like, did you have that plan? Like, all right, I'm going to just do social media. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Like, how did that play out? Like, was it planned out, or you were just like, fuck it, and I just quit, and then we're going to do this?
No, I wasn't. It was planned out. It wasn't like spontaneous. I knew there was like a cheat code. It's like all you got to do is film for 2 hours, and you're set for the whole week. Like you got clips for the whole week. So I'm like, okay, we got that. And then so I was doing that, and my friends, shout out to Caesar and Aaron, like the co-host from IE and Friends. We've just been boys for the longest. All we had to do was get comfortable with the camera. And they were in my skits a while ago when I would do YouTube videos, so they weren't too shy. And we'd just talk, like have normal conversations. And at that time, that type of podcast wasn't really a thing. It was just more like, this was like back like 2021, and people were just looking for like an escape in a friend group and stuff since COVID, all the schools are shut down. And then we became like that cool friend group that we're just talking shit. Like we weren't being politically correct. We weren't saying like trending news. We're just talking about girls. We're talking about going out. Like just if we're just someone just recording your and your homie's conversation, we're just posting that, and then we're just clipping all the funny parts. And it just generally started happening. And ever since then, we just kept it going. And then I knew I knew it was gonna be there, but I was like, I can't just rely on this. And that's why I was like, I got to start thinking of more things. And I was looking into the market. I was like, we need like a Latina show, because my mom was a single mom, and I knew she didn't really have like that figure growing up, where it's like I need like she didn't really know like the social stuff and like how society was working, and people weren't really being open with like girl problems. And then so I got these girls, and they're just super open, and they're talking about the things that girls usually don't talk about when it comes to like their bodies and their mental health and all that stuff. And that did amazing. And then so we started clipping that. They started killing it. I was like, okay, now let's do a movie. Let's talk about movies. So I did IEM Movies.
Damn.
And then we got to get into the food show. We did IEM Foodie, and then now we're at Bueno Bueno. So it was just looking for the market and seeing what needs to be filled.
That's you did a lot. I mean, you've done a lot.
Yeah, and then so now I do consulting. But it's all because, it's all fear. I think I work fear-based, because I used to be a YouTuber back in like high school, from like 12th grade to from 12 years old to like my senior year. And the first years of that, I was killing it. Like I was getting a bunch of views a week. And that was me being just like, my audience were little kids. So I was being cringy. I was making funny faces. I was running around. Like it was a whole thing. And when I got into high school, it started kind of leaking that I'm making these YouTube videos. And at that time, YouTube was cringy. If you were a YouTuber back then, people thought you were weird.
Because it wasn't in.
Yeah, it wasn't in. And I just loved doing it. But then these high school kids started like saying like, what is this kid doing? And they started making fun of me. And that got in my head. And this is the first time I'm seeing all these like beautiful women in high school, and I want to impress them. But now they're seeing my videos, and I look like a dweeb. And I'm just like, so I started changing my content. I was still making content, but it started being a little bit more like superficial, like me
like
trying
cool
to be
guy?
cool.
Cool guy? Damn, you went
Yeah.
from the okay.
Yeah, and then so
Which is normal though.
Yeah.
You were trying to impress the girls.
Exactly,
So
but
I get it.
and then my YouTube tanked, and I was like, dang. I was like, because my plan was to like, I don't need to work off of this, because I was as a high schooler, I think I was making like 3 to 4K a month, just like making YouTube videos. And then
In high school?
Yeah, in high school. Yeah, no, I had like Amazon boxes like every day. That shit was crazy. My mom.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get into all that stuff.
Yeah,
I
and
need
then-
to know more.
So I was,
Yeah.
as a kid, I was on top of the world, and then I let people's perception of me get involved, and then I decided to change, and I lost it all. And also, like, I was just being very stubborn, because at the time too, YouTube was purely skits, and it started getting into vlogs and watch time.
Okay.
And I was like, nah, I'm not going to do that. What the heck? Why am I going to? Why? That's dumb. But that's my first mistake, is like, to survive in social media, you gotta keep up. You can't fight the algorithm. And that's what happened. Like, I fought it. I changed my content. I stayed to skits, and I lost it all. My channel died, and I was like, damn. And I remember I was working. I was like, I had it all, and I was gone. And I was like, I never want to have that feeling again. So now I'm like, I work so much that it cannot. It's worked so much that possibility of you falling off is not there. Because if I fall off with this project, I have this project. If this project ends, I have this project. So it's all.
So it's
my
like you have
safety
a
net
backup to the backup to the backup. Essentially, like
essentially, in this
I have
industry.
I have this project that could possibly take off, or I'm making revenue from this one, but then I have this one making revenue, and I have this one. So essentially, you have like different income funnels.
Yeah, you know Ty Lopez.
Yeah,
I used to work for him.
No way.
I was a social media guy, and I think at that time is when I learned he called it the 7 streams. To be successful, you need 7 streams of income. So I was just counting them all. I was like, well, okay, I need. So ever since then, I started learning. I was like, okay, we gotta have different streams in different industries, and that's how I started, like, just dabbling in different things.
You have to have different income streams.
You have to, because living off social media if social media is your only stream of income and you want to be in social media, you are gonna have the toughest time, because you're gonna stop thinking about the creativity, and you're gonna start looking into numbers and see what works, and you're just gonna burn out faster. So that's
a great point.
Yeah.
Do you think people do burn out?
Yeah.
People that are just solely depending on this.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think they burn out?
It's definitely they're paying attention too much to the numbers, and
Bro, I could see that.
yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, like, there's a point where I was paying attention to the numbers, and it hurt me. Like, I was like, it was like a tough mental battle. Like, I was like, what are we doing wrong? Like, what's going on? But at the end of the day, it's not you. Like, the algorithm sometimes just doesn't go versus you, but also you got to adapt. So you do have to take some accountability, but don't focus too much on the numbers, because I always say, you're just one video away from success. It's like that gambling addiction, right? You're just one jackpot away. But that's how I see it. You're just one video, so why stop? And I don't pay attention too much to the numbers now, but I pay more attention to the audience. And I think when people stop paying attention to comments, pay more attention to the comments than to the likes and the views. It's all that matters.
I try not to focus on the numbers. I try to focus on my audience, and I know what my audience wants.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just sometimes it starts getting to you.
No, for sure.
And you have to snap out of it.
You know what helped me a lot? Like, shout out to this comment helped. Like, this comment was amazing. And this was one comment. I remember we had I saw you had him. I think it was your first episode with Jay Valentino.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just
Shout
had
out.
him. Yeah, I love that. It's hilarious. But we had him on the show, and just one person, he left a comment like, "Oh, I've never seen this side of Jay Valentino," and I was like, "Oh, that's so cool." And then I was like, "Okay, this video is a success. I don't care how many views. This was a success." And it's just those little comments just outweigh what I see in views and what I see in likes, because.
But then again, I just think is human nature for us to focus on the negative.
Mm-hmm.
And then you bypass,
Yeah.
Well, before you would bypass that comment.
Yeah.
And it's like we focus
Too much.
on all the nonsense that goes on, and it's like, dude, focus on that.
Yeah.
This is positive. This is good.
I do like to focus on my YouTube. Everything that has to do with YouTube, I like to focus on that, like likes, comments, shares, because those are subscribers who they're subscribed and they want to watch. Whereas like on the For You page, I don't pay attention to those comments because it goes up to anybody's For You page. So there'll be more haters there, and they don't really know what we're doing, what we're building. So I do pay attention to the YouTube stuff, and we always try to revamp ourselves and see how we can fix.
So you solely do nothing but social media, right? How do you monetize each platform? Or is there something that, is there like a platform that you favor?
I would say Patreon. Everybody's got to do a Patreon. Patreon's the reason why I quit my job, because I saw our monthly was enough to cover my rent, and I was like, perfect. We got to just keep busting out Patreon. So for all my shows, they all have the exact same streams of revenue, and then so it's Patreon, YouTube. Now we're signed with a network that brings us ads. And then just individual brand deals. And now I do consulting. So I do the consulting. And I like to dabble into stand-up and say some jokes there.
No way.
I like to.
So how did you incorporate the stand-up?
Stand-up?
Like,
crazy.
how'd that happen?
I've always wanted to be a stand-up comedian. Always. And I remember before the podcast, I used to film fake stand-up shows where I would like I'll get like my microphone and I'll pretend like I'm talking to a crowd. And I just do my jokes. And I remember I posted one on Facebook, and I just posted on there on Facebook. And then I forgot what day it was, but I think 2 years later, on the exact same day, I did my first stand-up show with Richard Villa.
Oh, the homie.
Yeah, so I was like, it was such a full circle moment. But it's something I've always dabbled in. Even before I did the podcast, I was listening to a lot of stand-up comedy podcasts. George Lopez said that he gives like a Super Bowl ring to all his like favorite stand-up comedians. And I was like, I want that Super Bowl ring. So it was just it was always just and then plus I think my cousin too, he always grew up watching George Lopez, and I kind of just, it was back there. And I love the attention, man. I love attention. So like being on stage, everybody's looking at me and I can make them laugh. I love it.
So you don't get nervous? Like going on there?
I get it's weird. The whole week, like I say, I have a show on Friday. Whole week, I'm excited. I'm super confident. Friday morning, I'm like, fuck, what if it doesn't hit? What if it doesn't land? And I'm so in my head. But then like I get there and I just see it all as like, so another fun fact, I used to want to be a professional bull rider. And then so
What?
yeah, I had a bull. My dad was a ranchero, and he had a bull, and I would ride it. And I always wanted to be a bull rider. And now when I'm at stand-up, I see it like if I'm about to get on that bull. Like I'm like behind the curtain, and I just take that deep breath, and I'm like, because once you get on that bull, it's the bull. Like you have to, you're not controlling the bull. The bull is gonna control you, and you have to move the way it is. And I see stand-up is the exact same way. Like you don't know what crowd you're gonna get, and you have to work with the crowd. So all you gotta do is make sure you prepped hard enough, you worked hard enough, you take that deep breath, and you hang on. And that's how I just that's what's made me like love that rush of stand-up. Be like, all right, here we go, let's do it. And then boom, first joke lands. Okay, let's go this way. Let's lean to these people, and it's just like a very fun rush. It's like a new dopamine level that I've.
How do you react when they don't land?
Bro, I'm so delusional. I'm the most delusional person ever. If the joke doesn't land, I think like, oh, I probably didn't deliver it right, or I probably didn't say it right, or I probably like mumbled. But I don't focus too much on that, because there's gonna, like, a boxer doesn't focus on the punch that didn't land. Like there's gonna be a punch that lands. So I know I got more in the arsenal that they're gonna land. So I don't worry too much about a joke, because if you do, your whole set's over. So you just keep it rolling and keep punching.
Damn, that's what's up. Yeah. So you mentioned that you worked for Tai Lopez.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you took from the way he moves on a daily basis?
Literally every day, I have him in my head. I hear him saying, "Don't be lazy. Don't be lazy." And what's the downside has changed my life. Because people are like, "Oh, should I do this? Why not? What's the downside? Is it going to cost you anything? No. So why not go do it?" So it's always been, don't be lazy. Work more than you're supposed to, because why not? Is there any negative effect to it? If there isn't, why not do it? So it's, don't be lazy. What's the downside? And just the he had the laptop lifestyle, like this middleman approach where it's just like delegating work. It's like put the right people in charge in the right places, and you should be fine. So that's how that's kind of what I learned from him. He was a tough guy to work with, and back then like it was tough. This dude was like in my ear screaming at me, because he's very nitpicky. Like he's super detailed. Like it's all in the details. And literally, if one video with a font 16 went viral, and the next font is in the size 16, I'm gonna hear it. I have to make sure that font is size 16. Whatever works, we're duplicating it, and we're milking it until it dies off. Until we get the next one, we're duplicating it. Oh, that's another one, milking it. It's milking it and be super detailed.
See that? I just think that successful people move a different way, and they pay attention to details, and they operate at a high level and are really efficient. You know, and that's what separates the really successful and the not so successful.
It's on the details. Like
everything's in the detail, bro.
Because let's say you have someone you look up to, right? And you know, when you work in a certain craft, you notice the things people don't notice because you just see it so much. Maybe if it's audio, like, oh, this audio is like, the audio sounds weird, and someone normally they wouldn't hear that because they don't work in that, right? So let's say you do that. So there's someone you look up to who's a master in their craft, and they notice you. That you probably don't have that many views or whatever, but they notice, oh wait, he's pitching this differently, and he sees these types of details, and be like, hey bro, like you have this type of eye, you have that like master craft. Yeah, right now people aren't noticing it, but I'm noticing it here. Come, let's work together. I like what you're doing, and I think that's how these collaborations work. And I've always told people, I always say, from like, if you want to collab with like whoever your dream collab is you have to get to a place where you have a passion for the craft that it doesn't matter how many likes, how many views you have, that someone who has another passion for that, they see the passion in your work and they'll invite you over because of that passion. And I've said, like, one of the reasons I did a lot of skits. Are you familiar? Oh, Super Ego. You all,
that's the homie. What's up, Super Ego? What's up, phone?
I tell him all the time. He's the reason why I'm doing this. I remember my biggest fear was that I stopped doing YouTube videos, and somehow I meet Super Ego and I ask him to collab, and he looks at my YouTube channel and he sees that I haven't posted a video in 4 years. So why would he collab with me? So I was like, you have to be consistent. Because if someone bigger, if they see someone being consistent, they're not getting me views, but they've been doing it for 5 years, maybe I'm the break that they needed. Like, you know what? Let's work. So I've always seen that, like, don't get discouraged for how long you've been doing it. It just takes one person, or it just takes one. What is it? It's luck favors. It's luck favors work ethic. I forgot how it goes, but you create your own luck. Luck
favors the prepared mind.
Yeah. So
I used to have that in my bio or some shit somewhere on my YouTube when I first started.
Yeah.
And I really feel that when you're prepared and you work really hard, you're gonna get lucky.
100%.
And the universe is like speaking to you and saying,
how you're prepared.
You know what? You've been putting in work. Yeah. You're doing your shit. You ain't complaining, and you just going.
Yeah.
And then shit's just starts falling in place.
There's this amazing quote that I literally, when I was working, I would hear this podcast every single time. Joe Rogan and Kevin Hart, both episodes that he was on, amazing. There's one part where he said, everybody's got that rocket that's going to take off, but it's up to you to know where the seatbelt's at, to know what the buttons do, because once that rocket takes off and you're not prepared, you're going to crash. So everybody's going to have the opportunity. So if you're not ready for the opportunity, you're going to be super lucky to get a second opportunity. But everybody at least gets one opportunity. So if you're not ready for that rocket to take off, it's going to be hard to get another rocket. They're expensive to make.
That's a bar right there.
Yeah, changed my life, bro.
So you got to stay prepared. You got to stay ready.
Yeah, you never know. You never know.
And how do you deal with adversity? I seen a clip that you posted, and you said, like, I feel that we plateaued, and it was getting to me mentally.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that?
you go back and you remember who you are. You're like, I got here, so why am I gonna stop? Like we made it to on top. We made it halfway to the mountain. What is it better to go down the mountain or just at least try to make it to the peak? So I was like, if we made it this far, why are we just gonna stop here? So it's just more like why? It's like almost going to college. If you're doing all your semesters, you got one more semester left. Why are you gonna drop out? Like you made it so far. Why are we just gonna quit here? So it's just is that like we know that it's part of the process. Nobody has a straight route to success. Nobody. And it's just part of success. Plateauing is part of success. Losing subscribers is part of success. Losing, 3 steps back, 7 steps forward. It's a dance with success. So why are you going to quit when you find a hurdle? Like it's just like in the grand scheme of things and plus everything, I feel like with time, we have way more time than we think. So if you quit now, what if you would have grinded out for another year? What's another year to like 15, 40 years? So why not do it? So I tell that to my team, don't get discouraged. It's still early on. I say we got spoiled with the success of our podcast because we're like, yo, it happens so fast. But the thing is, like, I've been doing videos since I was 12. So like I know like it's how these levels work. So I just see my team being like discouraged. Be like, no, bro, this is how it is. There's no easy way in entertainment. Ask anybody in entertainment. They all didn't have a clean route. And everybody in entertainment, bro, like it's a tough business, but they're not showing it. And then we're only seeing like the flashy stuff. Yeah. But there's so much darkness where people are just like in their heads and they're just like, it's a dark place. So we all got to be together and we got to offer each other a hand because it's tough. It really is tough out here. So that's where I like to remind my team and people watching us. I think it was very important to drop that clip because I had someone tell me recently that like I'm on top of the world. I'm like, so you're doing this, you're doing that, everything looking so good. And I'm like, I am at my worst right now. Like mentally, I'm at my worst. And I like that you think that I'm doing good. And it goes back to that place where like, even if you fall, you got to work so hard that you can't fall. So that's why I put myself to create a safety net. So when I go through these moments that I could be cool. But I wanted to show people that, yeah, everything may look all nice, but here's a reality that we're like plateauing. Things aren't working out, but we're pivoting and we're being open and transparent with everyone to know that this is normal. We don't want to showcase that everything's up. Like we want to let people know it's okay to plateau. It's okay to take some steps back. Like even I just recently had like a really big meeting with the team where I'm like, yo, there's going to be some big changes. We're going to take some steps back, but it's needed to just spring back forward. It's like that's a good analogy. It's like getting a slingshot, like a rock. Like I say, you're trying to sling a rock all the way to the other side of the country. Like you're going to pull it back as far as you can, and then you have to pick the rock back up, and to make it keep going, you have to bring it back. So it's just trusting each other, and everything will be okay, and just be transparent and let people know, because once, especially online, people can see the fake. They can sniff it out. So you just got to be transparent with people. Be like, hey, right now, this is what's going on. We're having some hurdles. We're working together. Please let us know what you think we can improve. I called 2 months ago. I called like 4 fans, and I want to I told them like, hey, right now our show isn't doing as good as it was. What do you think it is? And they're giving me all these different things, and I was like, okay. So I think people have that. People want to show their fans that they're the ones, but it's okay they're the ones that made you. So you shouldn't feel like you're above them. Let them know, be like, hey, I know you're a fan. I know you love us. What do you think we should do? And I loved it was so dear. And I was like, okay. So I think we're locking in. Everybody's locked in. I'm extremely excited for this upcoming year, for the next year, because breakdowns create breakthroughs, and everybody's been super low right now. And I'm just like, just wait. Victory is going to taste so good. Just wait embrace it now, how low you feel. Because once we're on a yacht popping bottles,
You better invite me, bro.
oh, for sure. So that's how I deal with adversity.
Plateaus are like a checkpoint. It's like you're on the road, right, to success. So you're driving, and when you plateau, it's like a checkpoint. Okay, like what do we do here? Well, let's check the engine. Let's do this. Let's do that. It's like you got to regroup, and if you have to pivot, then you pivot.
Yeah.
So it's just, it happens in every business and everything, not just in social. I just think that in social media and like in the entertainment business is worse.
Yeah. Because everybody's watching.
Because everybody's watching.
And then you got haters.
And you're always going to have haters. You're always going to, it's just, I'm dabbling in it and I'm like, wait a second, what? I never been, maybe I shouldn't say that. But like, oh man, like, but I'm just like, this is a new industry for me, and I'm just like, damn, like, it's just crazy to me. So some things don't make sense to me, and I'm just like, wait, what?
That's social media does not make sense. It's like such a battle. I hate it.
It's kind of sometimes I feel like this. Social media has it's more important. It's like clout has currency over real. Over real monetization.
Yeah.
It's like some people are focused on the wrong things. And it's like acceptable.
Yeah.
And me looking from the outside in, I'm just like, what in the what? What? That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
And I just trip out because I come from the business side.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, from the real estate side and from like the investment side. And it has its own issues too. And sometimes I'll just be like, oh man, I don't know if that makes sense or not.
I think definitely you would have the advantage coming from the business side where you start from like step one, because all the people in social media, for the most part, especially with the TikTok age, they have success in months, so they don't know they haven't really felt that struggle. They haven't felt the work to get there. Like they're working hard now, but they know. That's why they're like, oh, we're just make another video. We get another cool 100K. Let's just keep doing this, clout, whatever, this and that. But what goes up must come down every single time. And if you're not ready for that, then that's on you. Because there's been a lot of like TikTokers that I just haven't seen from in a long time, and they're living it up back then, but they didn't adapt. Another thing Ty Lopez taught me: adapting. You have to adapt in anything. If you see a trend, don't be stubborn. You have to do it. Because at the end of the day, like a good example, Drake and Bad Bunny, the way they've been out here for so long is the different genres that they're touching in, the different genres that they're trying. You have to adapt. So it's...
That's a great example, actually.
Yeah, they're...
Because they're tapping into different audiences.
Going worldwide.
So they're not just... local.
There's like one market, yeah.
It's not one small market.
Yeah.
It's like you're everywhere. Because look at Drake. He did a fucking song with Bad Bunny.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he's like R&B-ish here.
Yeah.
And then he raps here. Then he does this.
Like
and
the
he
Jamaican,
does that.
He does like, there's so much. So it's just, same thing with like social media. And that's why like I did different industries. I was like in the podcast. Also the cheat code in life, I say it like for social media, whatever you want to do, whatever you personally, your hobbies, whatever you want, just make videos about it. And one day they'll go viral and you'll get paid for that. So if you like watching movies, make videos about movies, and soon enough you'll be getting invited to premieres, and you get invited to meet these people, and you may even get into like the acting space. So
yeah, you're right.
If you like food, go make food shows.
I love food.
Yeah.
I love Mexican food.
Yeah.
All the Mexican restaurants, y'all better invite me.
Yeah. So I did the food show, but that's just... It hits, you start eating too much.
No, like, I just work out to not fucking be obese.
That's what I say.
You know, I work out to be healthy.
And eat what you want.
Healthy. You know, people think that I'm always just fucking eating. You know, like I'm not just always eating. But I only eat certain foods at certain time. Like I have a cheat day. And that's when I'll fucking go eat all the shit that y'all see me eating. Yeah. So yeah, so I'm not always eating, guys.
Yeah.
How did you start? Is there a reason why you started because Because you're saying that now you're consulting, right?
Yeah.
And what does that consist of? Like you help people strategize, like their plan, or
Yeah, like literally, like if somebody wants a successful podcast, I'm there from step 1 to like you're on your own. And I've done that for a couple of people already, and it's worked out. Like I have a whole PowerPoint. I'm like, this is what you gotta do. This is how you do it. Get this, and then go off budgets. So like budgeting, see what they need, and then we put it together. And because it's a lot of, not only is like what people don't realize in podcasting too, there's a lot of psychology with it, with like your host, your dynamics, where people sit, like everything. There's so much to it. So we test it out and we move things around and we find out what fits best. And that just comes from experience of me just having the shows, having different types of personalities on shows, and then sitting people differently and seeing how they interact, see who talks more in separate seats, who talks less in separate seats, and then just picking up on those little mannerisms, and then we fix it. Because I think everybody, it's pretty possible to, because once you get comfortable with the camera and you get comfortable with your host, and you all sit in the right place, and you all come in with the right topics, you'd be good. Because I felt like every friend group can go viral. You just need someone to record it.
Yeah.
So
I think we content is 24/7. Like sometimes you put a camera on you 24/7, you're gonna come out with some fire ass shit.
Yeah. And the cool part, you gotta wire your mind. You gotta rewire your mind to always be looking for ideas. Because people always tell me, how do you come up with podcast topics? And it's all in my head. It's constantly searching. Like I have a wheel constantly searching for podcast topics. So if I'm like at a grocery store and I hear someone say a random topic, I'm like, oh, that's a good topic. Let me write it down. So it's just wiring your height. Like some people would just listen to that conversation and just go about their day. But I'm like, oh, we can get more deeper with that, and I'll just write it down. So it's just rewiring yourself for content, which is like a battle, because you're like, now you're really 24/7. But that's the life we chose.
So what's the difference between a one-man podcast versus like the Friends, like 3 or 4? Because I see a lot of people do like 3 or 4. Is it just a variety of personalities? Is it more interactive? Yeah. Or is the one-on-one more intimate? Or like what, from your experience, like what do you think is more successful?
I mean,
damn, I put them on the spot. I'm like, damn.
No, there's success in both. It's just kind of on your personal, on the host, whoever's podcast it is, what they want to accomplish. Well, for us, why we went for like the Friends thing and like the couches and lean back, because we want people to see like their favorite influencers, their favorite comedians, like in a different light. Like I want to ask them, what do you think about aliens? Like just stuff like that. Like on that, like if you're under a tree with your friends at lunchtime, like that's kind of the vibe we're doing. Like, hey, did you hear about, hey bro, like this girl broke my heart, but what'd you do? Oh, I was texting her best friend. It's like, oh bro, why? Was she bad? Like, yeah. And like, oh, I get you. Like it's just like almost like locker type talk versus just like be free. We're not gonna interrogate you. We're not gonna take things out of you that you don't want. If you want things taken out, we'll take it out. It's a very friendly environment. Have a comfortable environment. I like both. And then like I was super excited to do this 1v1 interview, because shout out to you. You're a great interviewer. I've been seeing.
Thank you, my brother.
Yeah, ever since I started, I was like, I want to be on this show, and it's I think you provide that space to give people the insights of what people might not know, because everybody looks up to someone like, oh yeah, they're doing it so good, but everybody wants to know what's inside their head. And so I think that's where you brought in that space, which was amazing. Even I had a DM, I think 3 days ago, someone told me like, hey bro, like you should talk about your like entrepreneur life, because I don't really be talking about it. I just talk about like my like just the girls and all this stuff. But I was like, yeah bro, it's coming. Stay tuned. I got a pod show. I'm doing a pod on Monday. You'll like it.
Fuck yeah, that's what's up.
So
let's dive into that. You have a deal with Spotify?
Yes. Well, not a deal with Spotify. We're Spotify partners. So what it is, it's like they don't pay us, so we didn't get no Spotify bag. Okay. I told them though. I was like, hey, you guys don't want to pay us? I remember we did a conference with them, and I'm like, yeah, we just they're like, what's your main goal? I was like, oh, get a Spotify bag. So I put that in there. in their ears. I was like, I put that in their ears. But
just threw the seed, and now you're gonna keep on watering it.
Yeah. I was like, remember about that Spotify, that Joe Rogan, you know, something, you know. So we're like it's their partner. It's their partner. I forgot the name. My bad. It's like the partner stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we have our own Spotify manager, and we get insights on like new what are they called? Like new updates are coming out.
Okay.
Best ways to utilize the podcast. Then they like match us up with other podcasters who have similar audiences, so we can like collab and just and a bunch of networking events to meet other podcasters in like the similar space and all that stuff. And yeah, we did that, and it's been they're amazing. I love Spotify. Yeah.
I want a Spotify bag too, homie.
Yeah.
I want a chunky bag though.
Oh, me too.
Joe Rogan shit. I'm putting it out there. But you know, with them, you gotta come with the numbers, and you gotta come with this. But it's okay. We gonna be all right. We just, you know,
Yeah,
you gotta keep going.
for sure.
So the biggest question is, how do you reinvest your money,
How do I reinvest my money?
or do you,
I do.
or are you gonna start?
I
So I don't put you on the spot. Like,
No, that's
is
a
it
great
like
question.
what stage is it? I mean, there's no right or wrong answer.
Yeah.
Everybody starts differently. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, so now you're making
Uh-huh.
money off of social media. Like, is there a plan, or is there something that you're like, man, I'm gonna invest in this, or this is what I do with it?
No, yeah, there's a plan. Right now I'm investing in a spot like this, what you guys. By the way, guys, this place is beautiful. It's gorgeous. This whole studio.
Thank you, my brother.
So that's what I'm. That's the next step right now.
Anything you need, you let me know. I'll whatever it is that you see here. They're like, hey, I would want that. Just let me know.
Can I get that sign?
Yeah, shit. I'll tell you who made it, but I don't know. This one stays.
No, yeah, it's I'm trying to build my main goal in life. My main goal in life is to basically, I don't want to say compete with Universal Studios backlot, but have that resource in the Inland Empire. So in the Inland Empire, for people that don't know, it's like an hour east from Los Angeles, and there's so much land. There's a lot of potential for growth. It's filled with warehouses. It's filled with warehouses. And back then, when I wanted to be an actor, I had to travel all the way to Los Angeles to pursue acting. And no one in my community was into acting. Like, I didn't know anybody in community. I started my acting community, and I started getting my friends in there. And I kind of started creating that hub, that bubble. So what I want to do in the larger scale is I want to own a big warehouse and create different sets and have different workshops, have acting classes, have different types of classes to build the film industry. Because it's so much, like, it's just the opportunity. I don't know why, like, it's there. Like, there's so much space. Everything is cheaper. I don't know why they're doing it in Los Angeles. So I want to be one of the major heads in the Hollywood entertainment, I want to put like inland entertainment like on a hill or something. I don't know.
That's dope.
That's my main goal, is working to that. So right now, my next step is getting this space and start filling it up, start having people come in, and then just start expanding that, and then just slowly and organically create the space where, like, oh, if you want to get into like the entertainment industry, go talk to Saul. Because I already had those. My favorite that I've done in this whole space was I was writing short films and I was creating skits, and I would see someone, like one of my friends, and I'm like, hey bro, you down to act in something? And he's like, oh, I've never done it. I was like, it doesn't matter. Like, I just come and do it. And they'll come do it, and they loved it. They're like, bro, thank you for opening this up. Now I have 3 friends who I've brought into skits who are now into acting classes because I opened that door for them. And that was like the most thing. It was like that there's so much potential and there's so many dreams out in the IE that people they're like, no, it's not, like, it's not realistic. Everything's so expensive. So I'm like, I want to create that opportunity. I want to be that door. Essentially, I just want to be the person who opens the door. And that's where I call myself, like, I like to say I'm a trailblazer in the space where it's like, I'm a create that path, and I'll be happy. Like, I don't care if anybody's like copying me or whatever. I just want to create that path. And if somebody wants to water that path, they can water. Somebody wants to plant some flowers, they can flower it. But I just want to at least open that door of opportunity to people, know that there's more. to more to life, because everybody out there in the IE, everybody's just they're in what is it, the assembly lines in a gray warehouse. They're all just, their dreams are gone. Like there's no hope, and they're like, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna retire here, and everybody says it. And like even my best friend's teacher told him, like, you're not gonna be anything in life. You're gonna be in the warehouse your whole life. And he was someone who I got into acting. He's always had like that acting itch, but never never knew someone who knew how to use a camera to at least record him. So I opened that up. I gave him some scripts. He was like, this dude's a really good actor. Like, yo, bro, like, this is something you should really take serious. And opened that door, and there he is. He's pursuing acting. And there's other girls that have been in the same thing. Like, yo, this is really cool. So I would just want to create that door, and that's the legacy I want to leave behind. Of just like, he was pivotal in the change of my path. Like, everybody's got a path. I'll help you break into that path.
Absolutely, that's dope. It's like you try to bring change to the IE.
For sure. That's because that's how my biggest thing was, like, I wanted to be an actor, and so I realized like how hard it is for like,
it's tough.
Yeah, it's expensive. It's the drive, and then being like first generation and Mexican parents, like they don't see that as like they don't see it realistically. They're like, oh, whatever, like go be a doctor type stuff. But I'm like, nah, like, trust. But we just need those examples. We need those people who did it, so the younger generation be like, you see, he did it, I can do it too. So that's what I'm trying to provide. I'm gonna be like the example. If I'm not the best, see, that's the thing. I don't care about being the best. I don't care about being the best. There's so many people are competing, like, oh, we're gonna be the best. I don't care about being the best. I wanna be someone can point to me and be like, you see, he did it and he's doing good. And then to show an example to like their mom, be like, you see, Saul did it, I can do it too. So that's the legacy I want to leave behind.
I think you're gonna bring hope.
That's all.
Because
that's
if you're saying that people over there don't really see like certain things possible, and you set that bar, like you make shit happen, and you bring that change to the IE, you'd be a fucking legend.
I was my production company before it was called Inland Entertainment. I was gonna call it Make It Happen Productions, because I'm so like, why not? Like, just make it happen. Like, everything's so much easier than people think. Like, the easiest thing, but also the hardest thing, is to start. But once you push that ball down the hill, it's gonna roll. And that's what I want to be like. Let's make it happen. Let me at least open the door. You get in the room, and what you do in that room, how hard you want to work in that room, that's all on you. But at least I'm opening the door for you. So that's kind of the main thing I'm trying to leave behind, because back then I didn't have that. Like, I was so blessed to like, it's crazy. The reason why I was getting into acting, and at the time I had like a phone, and that phone had published to YouTube button, and I was like, oh snap. And ever since I've hit that button, my life changed. I'm like, I didn't need anybody to record for me. I didn't need anybody to tell me what to say. I did it on my own, and I posted it, and 10 people saw it, and that was great. And then so once I realized that I didn't need anybody, I didn't need a huge production crew, and that's kind of where I needed. But I had the privilege of having a phone, and I know some people never had that privilege of just like, they didn't see that opportunity. So because of the stuff that I was privileged to have, the gifts I want to show people that, look, it is there. We can make it. So that's the goal. That's
dope. And people think like the IE is only an hour and a half. Yeah, tops.
Yeah, not even bad.
It's like right here. So I just what's the biggest differences between the IE and LA?
Definitely just the work, the opportunity of entertainment industry. That I would just say that's it. If we want to get into the entertainment industry, but besides that, the IE is a really nice place to be at. Like,
it's growing. Yeah. I sell houses in IE. Man, and shout out to all the IE people.
Yeah,
bam.
They just they're putting an In-N-Out like right by my house, and I'm like, yes.
Oh, fire.
Like, it's really growing. Like, people sleeping on it, and what's crazy? Way more influencers live in the IE than you think. When I started reaching out to people to get them on the show, They're like, a lot of them are in Chino, because it's like in the border. Like
Chino's very popular, huh?
Yeah, Chino's. That's
Like
where.
Chino and Chino Hills, huh?
Yeah, there's a lot of influencers there. Only because you're getting away from the LA taxes, but you're still IE, but you're like 40 minutes from Los Angeles. So
I'm only familiar with Huntington Park Hills and Southgate Hills and Bell Gardens Hills. That's all my neighborhoods right here. All right. Let's say me, JT, and Sour Apple are going to dip out to the IE tomorrow.
Yeah.
What are the 3 top Mexican restaurants that you're like, you got to go there?
Top 3 Mexican restaurants in the IE. Damn.
I'm talking about fire shit. Like, bomb, chilaquiles, burritos, tacos, flautas. I like this shit.
There's like my mom makes the best Mexican food, so I don't really be going to Mexican restaurants. But
unless your mom wants to have us over, then make some fucking enchiladas.
Right?
I'll fuck them up.
Her enchiladas are fire. Taco spot. There's this place in Pomona. It's called Mi Pueblito Santa Rosa, I think. Fire, amazing, and their chata is so good.
A pastor is fire.
I haven't tried it.
Okay, well, I need to. We need to.
I think that's what it was called. That place.
All right.
There's this place in Jurupo Valley. I forgot the name of it, but they have really good breakfast.
Oh, I gotta try that because my cousin lives in Jurupa.
I forgot the name, but it looks like a house, and it's like, it's very famous. I totally forgot the name, but okay. I'm not too much. I don't eat too much like homemade food. Like I don't eat it too much in the restaurants. My mom just makes it.
So you're lucky, you blessed.
But Andy's Burgers, fire.
Andy's Burgers?
Yeah.
And where's that at? I love burgers too.
No, Andy's Burgers is amazing. They got some in Chino, Ontario, I think Upland, but so bomb. That was my spot.
So when you go into a restaurant or a vendor, whatever, and you order tacos, are you gonna go with salsa verde or salsa roja?
Salsa roja with guacamole. But actually, that sits weird in my stomach. But that's what I do. You do salsa verde?
All right, here we go. I'm gonna give you the breakdown.
Yeah.
For my burritos, I'm always gonna go salsa roja.
Okay.
And I get salsa verde on the side, so it's like I'm eating both. Yes. So what? But for my tacos, salsa verde.
Salsa verde.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see it, but I'm just. I love the salsa roja, even though it's spicy. Like I'm pretty bad with spicy food, but it's just, I don't know, it's just so fire. I love it.
Yeah,
I've never been really a big fan of salsa verde.
Man, I'm a fan of just any salsa, but the doctor told me I needed to chill, so that's it. No more flaming hots, no more. So it's very limited on when I do, but when I do, I fuck them up.
Yeah, got to.
So yeah, man. All right. Well, the IE in the house. You guys have any questions before we check out? You heard we gotta go try out some fucking
Andy's Burgers.
Some Andy's Burgers. I love hamburgers. I've been going to the same hamburger spot, Pop's Burgers in Huntington Park, since I was like 11, bro.
Have you been to, what is it, the place down here on Slauson? What is it? Is it the basket?
Oh, Tams?
Tams. No, it's not Tams. I forgot.
Slauson and what?
It's by the.
It's not Jim's, right?
It's where Tierra Mia is at. You know where Tierra Mia is at?
Yeah.
As if Ralph's or Smart and Final. There's like a burger spot right there. The Stop, or I forgot the name. It's fire. I'll probably go right now.
Out here, the best burger spots are gonna be number 1, Pop's Burgers in Huntington Park. Y'all better not hate on Pops, homies.
Pops.
And number 2, it's gonna be Tam's Burgers.
Yeah, I heard Tams.
And then it's like kind of biased because there's one right next to Huntington Park High School, so we would just go there. But
it's the nostalgic that comes with it.
Yeah, I fuck with sometimes. Okay, well, hold on. Let's back up. This shit got serious. All right, here we go. Fuck, I forgot about Jim's. All right, here we go. This is my new order of burgers out here in the Southeast.
Yeah.
Pop's Burgers, number 1 in Huntington Park. Number 2, Jim's Burgers in Bell. Let's go. And number 3, Tams in Huntington Park. I mean, I don't think people could argue with that. It's like, people are going to be like, well, fuck Pops. Hey, you better watch this. I've been going there since I was 11.
And check out Pops.
I was going there since I was so young that the workers are now the owners.
And their kids are on the grill.
No, they still work there.
Oh shit.
They know me since they be like, hey, ¿qué pasó, pinche güero? They call me, of course. You know. But that's kind of new. Pops has been around since I was.
Stars.
I'm gonna try.
Oh, stars. But yeah. And what are the taco restaurants here? You know, I'm just trying to give you some, you know. I don't really do tacos in restaurants.
Really?
It's usually like the vendors on.
Yeah. What is it? Angel's Tacos are fire. It's so fire.
The only ones are the Teddy's tacos that we go to, but those are birria tacos.
Yeah.
And then like the other tacos that I do are on Santa Fe. But I only hit those when I go to Dodger games. And I come back and that's my stop.
Yeah.
I'm a creature of habit, bro. I do the same shit all the time.
Yeah, food trucks and taco spots, always the better.
Fire.
Yeah, always the better ones.
So then what do you got next, bro? Like you're working on projects. Like what's up?
Yeah.
Give me the whole scoop. And I got to go to one of your stand-up shows.
Oh, for sure. I think we're going to do another one pretty soon. What I got next, definitely busting out a lot of... I'm going back to my roots of the YouTube content. I'm going to do like fun challenges and go on my personal YouTube a lot, make some skits. I finally have some time to go back to something that I enjoy doing. So I'm going to do that more. The podcasts are going to be, they're going to get wild. They're going to get fun. Everybody's locked in, super excited for all the guests that we have locked in and coming up. And then just the growth that we're coming in. We're going to get a space. We're going to create that hub. This year, we're going to create that hub where people are going to come in and have a place to just network, hang out, like a coffee shop type of vibe, where there'll be a lounge where people can chill in their beanbag chairs and just chill and write stuff. So that's coming up, and I'm excited for all of that. So nothing. Oh yeah, it's a little crazy, but it's like nothing too crazy.
That's dope, bro. You keep going, man. You don't stop for nobody. You keep going, people. Just keep going. Yeah, I always say that. Just keep going. The people that don't make it are the ones that quit.
Yeah, what is it? Just slow motion is better than no motion.
Oh man, I go fucking slow and steady.
Yeah.
It's been like that forever. That's why I'm successful in the real estate field.
Yeah.
I never went to slow and steady.
Slow and steady.
And that's how I rose, and that's how I do things.
Yeah.
And if there's anything that we could ever do to help, you just let me know. I'm just one phone call away, bro.
Likewise. I was actually trying to move out to Downey, not gonna lie.
Shit. Fire, homie. I love Downey.
I was looking at Zillow not too long ago.
There you go.
Yeah.
Shit. I'll help you with that too, dog. You know, and I'll welcome you to the city. We'll have a mean-ass party.
Oh, yeah.
My brother, thank you so much. I appreciate you for stopping by.
Thank you for giving me the space.
Man, I enjoyed this, bro. Thank you so much.
Likewise. Thank you so much.
Ian friend, Saul, make sure you fucking follow him. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. Let's go, baby.